I watch a new film every other day. Follow along for recommendations and reviews today. I just finished watching the movie ALAKADA Gen Z Part 2 that is showing on Toyin Abraham TV. And you guys, this film was hilarious. After the first part ended on Ekpa, this film continues, and it is the journey of the new Alakada girls and their journey of lies. Do you want me to tell you something though that I forgot to completely tell you guys about part one and about part two until I was talking to my sister who watched it based on my recommendation, and she was like, "You didn't mention how Yoruba this film is," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I think because I've gotten so used to reading subtitles with films that I forget sometimes that like, oh yeah, this is actually heavily Yoruba." So I have to tell you, this is it's like a 60% like 70% Yoruba thing, but it's written the subtitles so you will understand it. But I just have to point that out in case that wasn't clear. This is majorly Yoruba in its dialogue. This film is a lot funnier than part one. I told you that part one when we were talking about it. To me, that was more of just like setting up the characters. It was kind of more boilerplate. I laughed, but I didn't laugh half as much as I laughed in this part two. This part two, secrets come out. There's something we were talking about in part one that we kind of had an idea and we were like, let us see this particular person and if they say that they are who they are. Part two, we don't see how we're talking spoilers. This part two was fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say without giving you spoilers apart from go and check out part one of Alakada Gen Z and then especially come and watch part two. Part two is really for me where the cook, like this is the much better part. It's a better part to me, a lot better than part one. Part one is not bad, but part two is just in terms of laughs per minute, I was laughing to the point of tears. Oh no, this was for me. So please go and check out Alakada Gen Z part two. And now for those of us who have watched, if you have watched, I went to come and talk about it now with spoilers. Spoilers ahead in three, two, one, so we can just about it. Well, let us go. All right, now we're in the spoiler section. Please, if you're going to write a comment that has spoilers, just write spoiler alert before you write your comment so that we don't spoil it for people that have not yet watched it. All right, let's start this thing. The first thing I want to talk about is Yetunde's father. When he was calling her a shower in front of her children and just like spilling her dirty laundry, I said, okay, you don't go wait. Like, not you just basically yabbing your daughter in front of her kids and talking about she was an ashawo and treat baby daddies. I was like, okay, make we talk about side now. Like, not this Alakada Jay-Z making me feel so bad for older Yetunde because Yetunde is really getting back in tenfold what she gave everybody in the Alakada films. Like she's really getting it back. Second, you know how we're talking about how Oyi is like the only real one. She really is the only real one out of this friend group. And when she now cast waiting the caller Yetunde when Yetunde is under arrest to release Yetunde, and then Yetunde now comes back and she's like, Oyi, you cannot keep a secret. First, you cannot tell you something. I was like, Chai God, Oyi is the only real person in this. And Yetunde was cracking me up. Bianca did such a good job. That part where she's released and she's having to now like walk home and she's blindfolded. And she's like, sir, is it 100? And the way she's like jumping, like doing, I was laughing when she was on that road counting. It was so funny. Bianca did such a good job. Then we need to talk about the biggest one after the first part. We were saying that Ire, I feel like something is up with you. I don't feel like Ire is rich. And this part, God, I was laughing. See, even before Ire is revealed, when I knew that Ire, even like, see your time is coming, it's when she was telling them, embrace your roots. I don't know why you guys are doing this. Like, me, self, yes, my parents are called, they were in a different apartment. But I want to have that struggle life. I want to experience it. I was like, Ire, something is up. And then eventually, when it's now revealed that Ire that basically side chick, the mother and all come put on her from the house. Yesterday was cracking me up. When she was like, I'm your daughter, Ama, is Ire? And then I booted them out. Oh, it was funny. And please, immediately after that, Ire's whole switch up was so funny. Like, Ire now got loud. I was like, Ire, so this is not the real you. When they went to Ire's real house, I was laughing. Like, her father, when he was not calling them Fulani. The Fulanis was cracking me up. Like he raised the whole thing. Make sure that even blaming Angel. Say now you now because of your life, every time they go live everywhere, I was like, that whole part was cracking. Like the first 25 minutes of this, I was in tears. When Nafi was asking her, please, that man outside, is he your real father, like a biological father? And Yanira was like, yes, it is. And Nafi was like, no, really, your father. And Yanira was like, no, Nafi, I know it's not you that is talking. I've seen your mother. Your mother will never even put sentence together. Like it was back to back, bossa for bossa. Like all of them just the yam each other. The life does scatter. Well, this is too funny, I beg. Then let's talk about Honeyberry. Another one. I think I probably should become another like recurring character in this. But Honeyberry too was cracking me up. But the part that really cracked me up was when Yetunde now saw Honeyberry coming out of the shower, and she now said, "Ah, I thought you said you're a Parkview estate. This not be Parkview." And she now said, "This is Parkview from Table." When Honeyberry now pushed Yetunde, and Yetunde was like, "Ah, so aggressive. That's why you're in the trenches." I was like, Yetunde, you're in the trenches too. Yetunde is so delusional. Yetunde's zone is actually deep delusion at this point. Please, another part that cracked me up was when Nofi was telling Yetunde how she wants to build story building for her mother. And Yetunde now told her, "For that, your mother." And Nofi was like, "Why you saying it like that?" And Yetunde was like, "No, for that, your mother. Your mother going to climb to the story building." This film was cracking me up, you guys. Like, then let's talk about Jide, aka Mr. Blackman. I knew that Jide did not have money. Once he ordered that water for himself, and the way he was kept on looking at the girls that were eating food, looking at Ire, looking at the girls, I said, "This man, no, he no go want pay for this food." At the end, when he now like only pays for his own water, Ire's bill, and now leaves them, I was laughing. I said, "Mr. Blackman," that yesterday was calling him. That scene was funny too. Then also the Angel Foundation, like these girls, they cannot help themselves from lying. You go bribe children with biscuits, go stay them in a stand, and I say that I'm doing Angel Foundation. At least she don't collect 5 million. This film, and at least also it seems like Angel is actually using her money well. She's actually saving the money she's getting to actually build the house in Ibadan. So if like say Angel they actually get sense, make you see how her own story go. But that Angel Foundation was cracking me up. Who can't tell her again? After that one, after they don't already catch you in your life, you can't go say you know Shagun Johnson for inside the date. Shagun Johnson don't come down, see you they try run. No, these girls are cracking me up in this. That Shagun Johnson thing, well, was a mess too. Then also back to this their father, Yetunde's father, that is it's a younger Yetunde's grandfather. That man to the blind spirit, this Alakada spirit, it did their generation, it did their blood. Because not yesterday telling the grandfather that you have to be deaf and dumb. And the man said, "Yes, I was actually born blind, deaf, and he's now going to actually come and lie on." I said, "This family is now crazy that at the end of the film, it is now older Yetunde that is now supposed to be the voice of reason. I was not there telling her, "Man, you don't have to do this. Just let them love you for who you are." And yesterday was that the younger one, now they're like, "Yes, I understand, mommy." Only to get caught, say, "Yes, I was the president." This film, I laughed, man. When she that finished, I thought back to when yesterday I was like, "Hey, what are you saying?" And yesterday that first that I say he reached to four. The fact that Yetunde older is now actually the voice of reason is hilarious. I loved the second part. This second part was funny. Although it be like say, "Oh, you don't leave this story." It be like say, "Oh, you don't leave." And I guess Honeyberry is probably going to now be the fourth one, I guess. But I'm really enjoying this. This was so I like this part too. Ira did such a good job. That actress Yetunde did such a good job. Nafi did such a good job. Everybody, no, this film I enjoyed this thoroughly. This was so up my street. Like, loved this. If you avoid this film, I'm very curious to know what your favorite part of it was, which part really cracked you up, and I just want to know everything about this film. So please let me know in the comment section. Also, if you've watched this whole video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK. I'm the curator of the VDK Film Club, where every day we watch something new and we just about it like we've done today. Follow along. All right. Until the next film that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.